Welcome to There Are No Words, but We Have a Few, a podcast created by three mothers bonded by the unthinkable, losing a child. I'm Anastasia Brown,
joined by Don Huey and Valarie Allen Bianis.
We each have received the call that shattered life as we knew it, whether through suicide, addiction, or mental health struggles. People often don't know what to say to us, so we started saving ourselves. In this space, we speak raw truth about grief, love, and the long road to healing. They say grief shared is grief halved. We're here to share it with you. We recorded these first episodes in my music room, not as experts, but as mothers surviving the unimaginable. If you found us, you're not alone. Join us, for there are no words, but we have a few.
Last episode, we were talking about signs and symbols and
connection
and moving one step forward and 5 steps backwards, and we covered a lot of territory.
We did an angel healers,
yes,
and angels, and signs,
and what helps us feel them close by, which just makes us smile. Is not ever feeling them again.
Yeah,
right. Is too hard.
Yes.
Right.
Have you gotten any signs or symbols since we last met? Okay.
Ooh, I did.
Valarie.
Well, I got a message.
Ooh.
I got a message this morning on my yoga mat. I do a 15-minute meditation because that's all the time I have in the morning. And I heard the word trust, and to trust your faith, to trust your God, to trust the plan.
The plan?
Mm-hmm. To trust. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Because what the thought it triggered when I finally came out of the meditation is all the spirituality that I practice and, all the beliefs that I have. If I don't trust them, what's the point? Mm-hmm. So I was told to trust.
Okay, so God came to me. I haven't been sleeping but 2 hours the last 2 nights.
Oy.
I know. And I don't know why, but the first night I couldn't get to sleep. God came to me really very clearly. and I was struggling with how easily I can get set backwards when I'm working so hard to move forward. Mm-hmm. And I was also, that negative talk, we just are so hard on ourselves. The things I say to, like we talked about, things I say to me, I would never say to you.
Sure. Or
anybody. I was talking about that as well. And God came to me so clearly and said, fill your mind with my words.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And whether it's Henry Nouwen or C.S. Lewis or the Bible. And so I really all of a sudden got clarity. My mom and dad never missed one morning of prayer and Bible study. Mm-hmm. Not one morning did they miss.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, the light bulb went on.
You got an answer to your question.
That's
awesome.
Why they did that, to fill their brains with God's word instead of our mean words.
Right.
It was so clear.
That's great.
To me. Yeah, it was.
It makes so much sense. Too.
It does. I used to think that was so sweet.
Right.
Yeah.
But now I understand it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same, actually.
It is. Yeah. It is beautiful, and I try to start my day with positive readings and food for thought, because that makes me happy and sparks my curiosity, and that can get me out of that squirrel cage that is my brain.
Those efforts are very meaningful. Even
critical.
If you don't, how sometimes, because for me, sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't feel like meditating right now. Because I feel like I could hurry to work, or I'm like, oh, do I really have enough time? And I stop myself and I go, you know what? Just make the effort, Valarie. It's going to realign and make you feel better. So I do. Yeah. And it's always worth it.
And if you don't stop it, it gets worse and gets worse. And then all of a sudden I feel like I'm in an axe throwing cage at myself if I don't nip it in the bud.
Sure. No, it's true. That's great. I love that.
Yeah. Great way to start.
A good follow-up from our last filming.
Yeah, I love that. So I'm Valarie.
I'm Anastasia.
And I'm Dawn.
And this is
There Are No Words, but We Have a Few.
And today, we're going to talk about redefining ourselves when we feel like there's nothing left. Or am I saying that wrong?
No,
No.
absolutely no.
Yeah.
There is no right and wrong.
Yeah.
None at all. This is always a journey and always a discovery, you know. But yeah, redefining or kind of exploring the loss of self.
Yeah.
Because within losing a child, you lose yourself, and also kind of your purpose and
The title you had.
Right. I'm
yeah,
Wilson's mother.
Huge.
Yeah.
I know. It's the most mind-boggling part of it so far for me.
Yeah.
So, but I think Dawn, you have something to kick us in.
Yeah,
Yes.
in my morning readings and in my love of words, I found the word Vialoma, and it's Sanskrit, and widow is also Sanskrit, that describes the loss of a spouse. So Vialoma, this article is written by Suzanne Berendt, and I just found it online and loved the way she put it. So I'm going to quote from her article. I went looking for a word that describes a part of who I am. This aspect is so integrated into my being that not having a word to describe it felt like I had to have a script in place at all times in order to explain it to others. How many children do you have? Well, there's this thing I need to tell you. This special word needed to encapsulate how I fit into the fabric of a community. It had to allude to my experience of having more than a broken heart and more than a fear of living with it. It had to suggest the idea of straddling two worlds, the gut-wrenching here and the veiled and mysterious there. The word had to evoke a sense of a shattered ego and a complete distrust of the world. Its definition would include words like alienation and loneliness, and the feeling of walking through fire every day. Apathy for life would also be listed. The definition had to include the daily climb through the rubble of anxiety that chewed at my body, countered by the unexpected slide into valleys of muddy despair. There would be terminology to address the fervent hope of reconstituting the self and discovering a new meaning and mission in life. It also had to hint at grief, morphing into gratitude. That's a lot to ask of one word, but I found it. Vialoma. And Vialoma means out of order.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that just, for me, was so helpful.
It's so perfect.
Yeah, just to
really,
hit
yeah.
on so many aspects of that explosion that happens, that
And the
before and
she
after.
Yeah, and she articulated it so beautifully. You know, like falling into the valleys of mud, right? Like, I don't think there
And
is...
the alienation, not proactive alienation. We feel like aliens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, totally out of place. It is so intimidating trying to find your new place in society.
It really
You know,
is.
let alone within yourself. You know, you go just about anywhere you go, people ask very casual questions like, do you have any kids?
Right.
Or how many children do you have? And stuff like that. And it's such a, I feel so lost in that. You know, when someone does that to me, I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? Am I going
It
to
takes a while to come to the best way to answer it without freaking people out. And,
I've done that.
you know,
And look at us,
ending
we're
it.
worried about them, not us.
It
Right.
is true.
All we can do is control our emotions, not theirs.
And that
But I feel
is-
the same way.
Yeah, it is. It's very true.
That's a super good point. Because I feel like we've touched upon this almost a little bit in every episode so far we've done. I remember, you know, being the elephant in the room is a pretty common theme for you, and feeling uncomfortable where you used to feel comfortable.
Right.
I remember thinking to myself, you are so powerful in that space. It's almost like if you took the lead instead of like feeling uncomfortable in the moment and knowing that you have the power to make the whole room just breathe deeper. and it's when you're not
To go deeper.
and to go, well, also,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I
the-
don't like shallow waters right now.
Yeah.
oh, you
that-
never
that-
will. It's like,
That is the gift we bring now.
That's true.
Is the fact that we've had to do these, as you'd say, these deep dives and these considerations of what does a word mean? What does trust mean? What does hope mean?
Yeah.
And how do we find it that feels authentic now? That the before has been put on fire, as,
it's true, because it's like to activate a word, to say a word is easy. I love
Right.
you, blah, blah, oh, I'm okay. All the things that we aren't really genuinely honest about. Like sometimes it's so casual, it's treated so casually. But to say a word and have it be visceral and deep within you, like trust or hope, because I do struggle with trust. Hope, not like I'm feeling very hopeful in this phase that I'm in, and trust will challenge me sometimes, like, oh, right, okay, go back to what you've said, go back to what you're feeling, and take a deep breath and go, okay, Valarie, activate trust for real for yourself instead of just talking about it,
Right. Yeah. That
Yeah.
trust is so important, and it is so hard to grasp. I'm like,
Yeah.
come to me. but we have to work so hard to get there.
Yeah, the
it's like
effort's
the
big.
wilderness is mentioned in the Bible quite
Yeah.
often, and then the mud and the lotus, and there are so many wilderness, mud, dirt, ashes.
Yeah.
Phoenix rising from the ashes.
Job.
Yes.
The muddy valleys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pendulum, right? The more you can touch upon those deeper, darker spots within this grief, the more you swing out. When you swing out of it, the more you discover the light, the hope, that perspective of it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, I've had many muddy days.
Well, and I think it's the same thing. I would much rather have and make a friend who has struggled with their faith and their religion and their beliefs, because that means they've thought about it.
Right.
It's honest.
It's honest,
honest,
it's
yeah.
truthful, and they've worked for it.
Totally.
Because if it's just trust in the physical person, that's going to be hard, because they will let you down. People, I was late today for this taping, full disclosure, and that's human. I was stuck in traffic. And so people inadvertently, without bad intentions, will let you down, and that can mess with your trust if it's not as firm.
Going to trust, losing yourself, and then finding yourself. A big part of moving forward in finding yourself is trusting the inner workings of yourself and the words that come into your mind, and really navigating it, because it is a really slow climb. It is a monumental mountain.
Yes.
And it is the job I don't think is ever done. It's like, the ladder, continuously trying to climb that ladder, trusting that you can, believing in your, it incorporates so many different
It
aspects.
does, yeah.
And you know what? The revelation I had while God was chit-chatting with me was, I've put my trust in the people in my life, and a lot of them are now gone. We've all lost people. So how about we love ourselves first and trust God more than anyone else? Because before all this loss, I have to admit, this is being vulnerable for me, I used to need either success or love from people to feel validated for myself internally. And now I'm on this journey where I have to do that all by myself.
And it's so big too,
But
because
so empowering.
it is. Because as a mother, you put it all into, I lived for my kid.
Yeah.
I totally lived for
I did too.
him.
Yeah.
The success.
I
Excuse
can't
me.
even go there.
No, I worked with the idea of providing. There's a lot of excuses in there. Now that I've unraveled all of that, and analyzed that part of me, the
But we live in the
pre-loss.
United
Wow,
States.
yes.
So
You
that's
just-
the
you-
expectation.
You just hit on something that I didn't even realize.
Oh,
I struggle the most and feel the most anxiety around people that call me Wilson's mom. And so just recently, just a second ago, I talked about success and love from other people. That's secondary to being a mom. Wow.
And it's big because I had Z at just right when I turned 25.
26.
And, yeah, so I grew up with him, only child like you. I was obviously his parent and his mom, but also his friend. I lived and breathed for him. Like the decisions that I made, everything I did was to try to accommodate a better life for him. And yes, we do live in America, and the pressure to health insurance and it's a really hard job to parent.
And the perception of other people.
And what you want for your kids and what you think you want for your kids.
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
You know, like he needs to have the best health insurance. He has to go to the best schools. He has to live in an awesome place, like blah, blah, blah. I want to give him everything he wants.
Big success after college.
Yeah, and not to be, like, I wasn't spoiling him, but I made decisions in my life for him, all of them. You know, like the continuation of a job or the house that I bought or it was all, lived and breathed for him. So to find yourself after, like, I had no idea. I was so confused when I lost him in the sense of self, because I was like, I don't want to focus on myself.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, I don't care anymore. I don't want to focus on me.
And I had so much hope into Wilson getting better.
Yes. Well, and there's that. Yeah.
And there's that whole other side of that where, okay, that was so much energy and I failed.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God.
You know, I
so
didn't do that. I
huge.
didn't keep them alive.
Oh,
Yes.
Yep.
That is.
I mean, and we all know it's
hard to
not
say.
true. We all.
But that is the place you enter. I entered first.
Oh,
anyway.
me too.
Me too, but I haven't
Yeah.
admitted that to anyone.
Well, that's a painful
Yeah.
feeling.
Because you have success, yay. You know, like, and then it's that utter abject failure.
Oh, that is haunting. That worked me, just raked me through the coals easily. The first year of my loss with him, there was the desire to connect, you know, to the other side, because I knew that's where I would find him. And then the humanness in me going, I totally fucked that up.
Yeah.
All on me. This is my fault. Working through that, I realized that this one did not, the loss happened to me, but the death happened to him. And I had no control. And there was nothing that I could do. And I get dreams even still where, and they're so vivid and so lucid, where, like, whatever the scenario might be, I'm in the dream trying to save Rosino, and he's always joyous and always cool, and I never save him ever in my dreams.
Wow.
Like, really, I wake up and I go, oh my God, he's trying to show me that I couldn't have done that. You know, so, and it's to get there and to feel that feeling, though, oh my God, it takes a lot of time and a lot of work.
So now I understand why I feel so. I was trying to analyze that. I was feeling more anxious when I ran into people who called me Wilson's mom. This conversation just opened my mind. I need to work on that with my counselor.
Well, that's what this is about.
Exactly.
The key to sharing with a group of grieving humans.
As Oprah would say, the aha moment where you go, I didn't think of that before.
That's why I go like this. Where's the menu?
Yes. Yeah.
No, it's
I just didn't understand that emotion.
well, there's so much that you're ingesting right now.
Yeah.
And you are going fast. You're hitting it head on, which I applaud. And that it's not easy and it's not comfortable.
My go-to when I'm anxious or just not to think about things too much is like NCIS, Law and Order, SUV, FBI.
Yeah, that is dark.
Yeah, that's dark.
And so I have to make conscious decisions on what I put into my mind and my heart and my soul.
It is really true. It is really true. And then, there are times where I just want it to be really dark and painful.
That's actually true.
You know, I
Meet
just
the emotion, right?
I don't want to
Yeah.
see joy and happiness because
Right.
it makes me feel empty.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
see pain and suffering. And, you know, we talk about music and it's that bittersweet, you know, there's a
Yeah.
reason where sometimes you just, I want a rainy day. I want it to rain. I want to like watch movies.
Excuse to retreat.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, it's really true because like light movies, I feel it make me feel worse. Like the fake rom-coms, I can't do that.
I can't do that.
I can't. Like I cut. I think for 3 months into the loss of Z, or the transition of Z, I cut everything out. Music, movies.
Oh, I
film.
do remember you telling
I-
me that.
I-
I was
For how
so
long?
amazed.
A long time. I just was like, I knew intuitively where to find Rosino, and I also knew that it required silence, so I could think and I could hear and I could see. So I cut everything off but one song. Actually, there was one song every now and then when I was craving listening to music, I listened to Chris Stapleton's Whiskey and You. Because Z obviously struggled with addiction, and the last bit of his life, he was at home with me. He was trying not to use, and he kept reaching for the whiskey, until I finally was like, you know, Valarie, you might want to empty out I emptied out my wine cooler, everything. I threw away like amazing sake and wine. I just got rid of everything out of the house. It kind of made it worse, but so Whiskey and You.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played it a lot. I think everyone in my life was like, okay, Valarie, turn that off. So to your
Yeah.
point, like I found relief and honesty in his storytelling in that song because it's painful. You
Yeah.
know, it's really, addiction is so painful. And it made me feel close to the emotions and what Z was going through, I mean. So in the process of, you know, I failed, or, you know, that first year of unraveling, loving yourself, going back to the beginning of this, like finding yourself love in this, and forgiveness is something that I had to do first.
So are you talking about forgiving yourself?
Yes.
Or Z.
Or Z?
First, myself. I had to forgive myself because, of course, it was my fault, right? I blamed myself. I should have, could have, would have.
Yeah.
You know, I went down that rabbit hole quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I prayed, I meditated, and I apologized to him a lot. You know, I'm so sorry I didn't see how much you were hurting.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't know what was going on so deeply inside of you. And then I blame myself for having to work. I blame myself for the need to provide. Did I go too far? All that crazy stuff. So I had to forgive myself first to even begin the journey,
Yeah.
you know, and then realizing too that I had to forgive him happened long after I realized I had to forgive myself.
Yeah. What I struggled with was the anger portion. And that's feeling anger. I couldn't get to anger. And that was, it was in a bizarre way a stumbling block for me, where there was anger, but because of my training as a good girl, I was raised, and you just didn't get angry. You stuffed it. You didn't talk about what upset you. You smiled and went on.
Well, girls are taught to be people pleasers.
Yes.
And boys are taught to be strong.
Yeah.
Those two conflict.
No, entirely. And
Yeah.
the unraveling of grief, you need to conquer that. Like one needs to conquer that, because I found that I had to also bust through the conditioning of my childhood. You
Yes.
know, I really did.
Yeah.
And it's a very conscious effort to get like through that. And again, I have that trust word always in my head. I had to trust that it was going to be okay. It's just like going back in time and going back to when you were little, like grief makes you unravel that.
It
Like,
does, yeah.
to be a woman and to have been raised when we were raised, oh my God. I had guidance counselors say, you know what, Valarie, you are a handful. You're pretty. Just get married and have a couple kids. And then it pissed me off so much. I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to be independent, and I'm not going to need anybody. You know, I was on such a mission. I forgot I needed myself.
Talking about redefining ourselves now is that idea that I am actually, better is not the word I'm looking
Enough,
for.
maybe.
Well, I'm a nicer person now. After losing Ryan, I've gone inside and figured out who I really am without all the strictures of what is expected of me.
Yes.
Like, how do I really feel about this, as opposed to somebody saying, where do you want to go for dinner, going, oh, I don't know, you pick.
Right.
And that's just an overarching example of just not being sure who I was. Back to the people pleasing. I'd compromised my whole life thinking that was what I needed to do, and I ended up compromising myself and being left a shell of a person. I mean, that sounds awful and very overdramatic.
But I think we all have felt hollow.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Hollow.
That's so shell, hollow, perfect.
Same, yeah.
Just hollow, and needed to fill it up with, okay, what do I really believe? What do I really feel about this? And that's taken a lot of time.
And what really matters.
What really matters?
My
what
gosh.
brings me joy?
Me, not the collective.
Yeah.
Sure. That's
Big.
big.
It's huge.
Just say,
and I'm still on that journey. Yeah, like what really matters to me.
I need help. 3 hard
We
words.
all need help.
Right, but 3 hard words.
Really, I need is like, no, I don't need anything. Nope. That's, that is a very big part of finding peace within grief. Is to find who you are, and it forces you to find who you are, or you will just end up flat on the floor.
That's true. And very alone.
And yes, just in that dark space. You have to do your work with grief. Honestly, I have found anyway.
Yeah. I think we all have.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing your work on grief, then you're going to be stuck in grief.
Yes.
And that's, as you know, my biggest fear. That's why I've been jumping in with y'all. So, I feel like I've jumped into the deep end and I'm swimming as fast as I can.
No, seriously. I mean, not that any one of us would have chosen this experience, for God's sakes.
Because, I don't want my words to, like, oh, I'm a better person, to be like, oh, if I could change everything, I wouldn't.
Right.
I'd still change everything and work on myself.
Exactly. Yeah.
With Ryan present.
Exactly.
Right? As a woman who was trained to be a people pleaser and to give yourself away to you when you become a mother, you live for this particular situation. It's always like an exterior thing, like especially too, like when you grow up in a family that's not exactly perfect.
Have you ever met a family that's perfect?
But I mean, like I had a pretty turbulent go of it when I was a kid, and as a daughter, I felt like, how can I fix it? Or maybe I should just, be quiet, and then you tiptoe, and then you start developing these crazy, terrible habits for self because your voice
coping mechanism.
And you retreat. Retreat.
And you bring them along with you as you evolve. My sister is bipolar, and whenever something with the bipolar challenge, which is a huge challenge, comes up, I would just tap dance really loud, make sure everyone's smiling and happy.
Yes.
And I brought that with me into adulthood. It doesn't work in adulthood.
It does not.
It's not authentic.
It isn't. And you take the hit.
Yeah.
You take the
exactly.
hit. Because when I go to bed at night, I don't question. I mean, sometimes I'll laugh at myself and go, oh my God, Valarie, you shouldn't have said that. Or what were you thinking? Like, armies on Mars, or whatever it is that I end up saying. But at the end of the night, I actually am cool with myself. I don't feel squished. I feel capable. I feel brave. Sometimes I trust myself, and sometimes I have to remind myself that I can trust myself, or that was a good decision. And sometimes I feel sad, but like I'm cool with myself. And before losing Z, I didn't go to sleep like that.
I didn't either.
I know this is horrible, and I think considering grief a gift isn't really the right word, but it's empowering, and it's.
What about a lesson?
Yeah, and it's
I'm learning a lot of lessons.
Yes.
lessons, expansion.
Yeah.
Expansion is a great word.
Well,
Yeah.
'cause
I'm not better,
like
I'm
this.
expanded.
Right.
Because I don't like the word better.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I don't like the
because
word better.
expanded.
Expanding, because on site, we've talked about this once, so I'll be quick about it, but so many people told me you're just gonna have to learn how to walk around it. And I'm like, how in the world can I walk around? And that's not, no judgment, but me personally, I was like, I can't walk around my son. I want him with me. I want him in my heart. So in all site, it's like you actually go right through it with your faith and community. You can't do it alone.
No.
But you have to go through grief together with your support system.
Yeah. You gotta have your buddy.
Yeah.
So there
Our
there
buddies,
is
yeah.
there's a metaphor, and there's a forest in the Northeast, and they have a season called mud season. And during mud season, the rangers will post signs on the trails, walk through the mud puddle, because if you walk around it, it will get bigger and bigger.
Wow, that is,
And
I
so,
love that.
so that to what you just said, if you walk through it, it's gross, it's disgusting, and yeah, you would rather not. But if you walk around it and keep walking around it, each time you walk around it, it's bigger.
Up until I started doing some more work and going on site, I really thought that the girl who was born into this world was dead. I really thought she had died. And I liked a lot about her, not all of it. The all of it I didn't like is probably shedding right now, But creating and able to heal, I worry that it's going to affect really important relationships that I love. Do you worry about that?
Yeah, and it does, and I guess the quick and dirty answer to that is the only thing you can do is work on communication.
Yeah.
Communication is kind of everything. It's one of our greatest gifts.
And
you know
really
what I mean? Like,
hard, and change is hard.
yeah.
And especially as we mature, I'm going to use that word, change.
That's a dirty word, don't you think?
Change is really difficult.
I'm not mature.
Some relationships won't serve the same purpose. I mean, in general, I have friends who I don't go to if I'm in pain, because in your heart that's not the response that you need right then.
But you still love them.
You still love them.
Sure.
And you call them in other situations, but you start finding the people who can handle your true pain. You don't have to,
And it doesn't make them uncomfortable.
and it doesn't make them uncomfortable. And
Oh,
then
yes.
they will have a sense of when to just listen, when to offer a hug,
Sure.
or when to offer advice.
Oh, don't you hate those? Do you need a hug?
Oh, no. Yeah.
Little
I've
setups.
surrounded my crew. I shed people, but I was always like, I had a crew, kind of my tight crew going before I lost E, who embraced him too in his struggles, actually. So I'm still in the same crew, really, literally. I shed, I have like the inner circle crew, and we're as tight as ever. The outer circle just disappeared. There's only one circle now. There's no outer circle. At the end of the day, I'm just I can't small talk. There are people every now and then that like I don't talk to for a while, and when I look at my phone and they're calling, anxiety, and I'm like, oh man, I have to say things. I have to get them caught up, and
sometimes I don't like talking.
me too. So you're like, straight to voicemail, and then I feel bad and guilty, and then I'll text, send a smiley face or something.
Yeah.
But I think, and especially in the beginning, holding firm boundaries is so important.
Sure.
Just knowing that person is going to prick something in me that I don't need right now. And that's okay, because you have to protect yourself, your heart.
Mm-hmm. And it's also going back to what you said earlier, is that that how you compromise yourself or make excuses, and like before and now, like I think we collectively agree that we don't do that anymore. That is so important, to finding yourself within this, is to go, you know what, I'm not making excuses for that. I actually don't like that human. That human is mean, you know, or I'm not going to cover up someone else's bad behavior because I see some grand potential in them. You know, I have cut all those crazy cords that I'm an excuse maker, you know, and I'm also I'm an artist. So I feel like I can see potential in everyone, and I can make killer excuses too. Man, I'm good at excuses.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she didn't really mean to say that, you know, like her heart is good and, you know, blah, 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 blah. Really, no, now I'm actually at a point within myself that I stopped making those excuses for other humans. Either you step up and you're cool and you're kind and you can travel at my speed, or I can travel at your speed, or it's just a waste of time now for me. Like, I try to really embrace the humans that hit me on a soul level, and if you don't, I just feel like I don't have time anymore. I cut a lot of things off when I lost my dad, because that was I've had loss up to that point, but that was like, whoa, this is home.
Yeah.
This is my home. And that was I idolized him, and I loved seeing him, and I just miss the strength of a father, you know, and he was the one that I'd share ideas with, all those things. Mm-hmm. So when that was my first big loss, I started to feel all of the parts of me that I really was like needed to get rid of or stop. Mm-hmm. Like, my power started to kick in a little after him. And I blew up my job that was really toxic, and it was brave because I walked away from a great salary, but I was like, I can't breathe. Yeah. Like, I started to see things that were hurting me so greatly, and hurting me so much so that the toxicity was hurting me physically. Yeah. Like, I felt it. And then, of course, when I lost it, game over.
Yeah.
No more excuses. No more toxic people. Either you're cool or you're not. That's it for me.
And we could tell from a mile away if they're checking on you for gossip reasons or for heart reasons.
Yeah.
You know, and it's no judgment, but you know, your instincts just kind of grow. Do you feel like
absolutely.
As we're creating our new self, your instincts grow? And I'm talking about myself too. I'm learning exactly what God wants me to work on.
Yeah.
I mean, whew. It's a long list, but I'm excited. I'm willing to tackle that list.
That's the only thing I want to do.
Yeah,
truthfully,
same.
like, it is. If it's not meaningful, like, and I know you've hit this a lot, like, if it's not purpose-driven, meaningful, or like satisfying, we talked a little bit about this last time. It doesn't. I just don't want to. And the cool thing about, you know, finding your power in this is that you can say no. Boundaries. I'm like, no, you know. I did have to shake through old patterns, you know, like, for real. Like, I tried to force the old me into the new me. Holy cow, that just did not work. That was, you know, like,
I've been trying to do that while changing habits, changing thought patterns, and really thinking outside myself. You know, a friend of mine, her husband's, they're waiting for a diagnosis and it's really scary, and another friend struggling with X, Y, or Z. I find myself thinking about them and praying for them so much more than before, because once you go through the biggest loss in the world.
Yes.
So I feel like my empathy has grown a lot, and I didn't realize it, but it needed to.
Me too.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it.
Well, because you think you are.
Yeah.
Right, you do.
You do.
It's not
Everyone
that
thinks
you
they
aren't
are.
a nice, kind person, but just that understanding, you know, that I think I've mentioned on the podcast before, is, but be kind, for we are all fighting a great battle, and you so understand that.
Yes.
As you go out into the world, and you
yeah.
go, I wonder what that person is struggling with.
Yeah.
And
You see,
do.
you see, like instead of being impatient, I get very impatient. I'm a very impatient human, especially and I get crazy when people don't do the right thing. Like, just
Me too. Or if they're not transparent, drives me crazy.
I get and then I have to catch myself in that act. That's like the new Valarie. Like, I'm on the road and I'm like, dude, why did you have to cut in front of me?
Yeah.
Or why did you cut that lady off? Couldn't you slow down and just let her in? And then I start having that narrative, like, why is everyone so... But I have to kind of flash back and be patient and understand. I used to be that kind of human too, where I was so narrow focused about, I have to do this, I have to get this done, I got to go to
Always
this
in a
job,
hurry,
blah, blah, blah.
hurry there. Yep.
Yeah, and so pulling way back, I'm starting to see so much more about all other humans. Every move I make, I try to be considerate, from the simplest things too, or recognizing when I should ask someone if they need my help, or to just across the board, like you said, you're a nicer person. You know, you made that reference, and it really does realign you with being on the ground and being compassionate.
On the ground. Oh my gosh. Being grounded has become a priority for me. And I've really never thought about, I just got a grounding pad. So for when I meditate and pray. But I before all this, I didn't think about being grounded. I wanted to soar with my son and my mom and my dad and my sister and my tribe. I wanted all of us to soar. And now I realize being grounded is much better. And
it really is. I have to admit, I think we're very similar in the speed in which we travel and the careers and all that stuff. It just, you don't even think about being grounded. In fact, the excuse that I would make is you can't stop.
Right.
You shouldn't stop. Why would you stop? Go. You're in it now. Just keep going. And it's just, in being grounded, for me, the initial phases of actually having my feet on the ground made me discover what regret really feels like.
Yes.
I had to swim through a lot of regret, because I was like, man, I was going so fast. I didn't need to be going that fast. And then going back to kind of shaking through some really bad habits.
Yeah.
It's like, you're going so fast, and whether your ego is kind of focused on fear or whatever it might be, because the ego is such a crazy space. The ego blinds you. You don't see when you're being driven by an ego place.
An ego actually empowers the mean person in your head.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's a healthy ego, and then there's an unhealthy ego. And I think we all have a little of both.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, I forget what spurred this, but is, being grounded is, for me, also about starting my day with gratitude, which again sounds so mamby-pamby and everything like that, but I walk my dog most mornings, and it's easy to just sit there and start the day and go, okay, wow, look at the sky, and taking deep breaths. And I never thought about what I was grateful for before I lost Ryan.
Right.
And I am so grateful for just where we live, and the friends,
Community.
and the expansion. I am very grateful for that aspect of what this horrific grief and trauma journey has brought me to.
And not mamby-pamby. That's beautiful.
Whatever.
Whatever
A gratitude journal.
It's
And
true. For the people who do watch this, and they don't have community, it was good for me to know that I shouldn't be afraid that I have to redefine who I am. Because for the first 6 months, I just thought that I was dead. And that you two and On-Site and our women's group, it's like, don't be afraid of it. There's no way around it.
There is not.
Yeah.
No way around
You
it.
gotta dive right on in.
You gotta just, it's kind of like an eagle, where they either have to shed their claws or their beak. I'm in the middle of that, like you were. I don't know which I've chosen, my claws or my beak.
No, you've chosen to fly again.
Yeah.
yeah.
And both grow back, by the way, on a bird.
Yep.
So,
And maybe different colors.
yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
That's definitely. And
To
that
quote
last-
Cyndi Lauper, true colors.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
but-
we show our true colors, and that's
that
the
is-
ideal. Is to dig down deep for what is your truth.
I love my truth. Like I have loved tapping into it.
Yeah.
Before I would ignore it completely. It was so inconvenient. It's like, seriously, no, don't talk to me right now. That's too smart. You go over there. I need to do this over here. It's just all the stupid things I did and said to myself, and all the reasons why. Please, you know what I mean? Like it was such unnecessary craziness. Really living from the inside of your truth. Wow, gosh, it's crazy what will unfold from that.
Yep.
And obviously this journey is so painful and so traumatizing and so unearthing in every way. But the power that we have in this is how we react to it, how we grow ourselves with it, and who we become as a result of it. Because in the amount of time that we have left here, the gift that we were offered is that power of compassion and love. And we're Anastasia
Who we
said
can touch.
Yeah, and you said something last time about do your work before you get to heaven. I think you said that.
Yes, I did.
last week.
Yeah.
That stuck with me because it's like that's exactly what we're doing. And yes, we were, kind of thrown into it by losing our kids, but we are doing our work, and you can do your work. And yes, it's brave. And you have good days and bad days, the muddy valleys, the pendulum in the dark, pendulum in hope. To feel every bit of it is such a big part of, I think, why we're here.
Well, the question why, when we were in couples Bible study together, is like when was more a question that we asked more than the why. What are we doing Monday night, Tuesday? I shared my beautiful son Wilson with his amazing father Ron, and so 1 week on, I didn't leave Wilson's side no matter what it was. And when he was with his dad, we were when, where, where. I wasn't meditating. I was just going. And I wasn't questioning, why am I doing this? Is it for my ego, or is it for my true path that I'm supposed to walk upon? And so that's where I'm finding amazing clarity.
Admitting to yourself, it's not like an admission to the world, you don't need to go there, but to admit to yourself the mistakes that you consider mistakes. Everything is a learning experience, but it's definitely a big deal, and it's really cool to say, I definitely was walking in an ego space and missed this particular moment, but I won't be doing that again, because I see the clarity.
Right.
It is really hard to just say that you made those mistakes or you missed that, or whatever the right words are, and to go, okay, I'm cool with it now. I can forgive myself, and I want to get deeper and grow more. Versus getting stuck in that negative self-talk that we talk about a lot, because it's so easy to bash yourself. I mean, especially when you're hurting so much. Like, oh man, like what were you thinking? And blah, blah, blah. So it's a really very big thought, and it's kind of amazing. I just admire you so much because you're in the first year and some couple months.
1 month.
The why just made me think of Viktor Frankl, who went through concentration camps.
Yeah.
His famous book is Man's Search for Meaning, and one quote that I hope I kind of get close to is, a man can suffer anyhow if he has a why. Because he made it through the concentration camps.
With a why.
Because he had a why. He was writing a book. He was...
Wow.
I think he was, I don't know if he was a psychiatrist, but he was some kind of therapist. He had a why that got him through the how.
Yeah. And that, I think, that's why.
And that's a concentration camp.
Yeah.
So why?
That's
Yeah.
been my biggest revelation.
Yeah.
And I think that was a part of my not sleeping at night is, why do I want to do this? Why do I want to do that? Why do I want to say yes, say no? I mean, it's just, I just haven't really thought of the why most of my life. I mean, other than being a mom. That was the only, this is what is so hard growing and evolving and expanding, is because my identity as a mom was the one thing I was sure of.
Yep.
That's what I was most proud of. Like you feel like you're missing some limbs.
Yes.
And
it
you
is.
feel
It's
you're
an
like
amputation.
unbalanced.
It's a
Yeah.
definite amputation.
It is, and it
It
just-
unbalances you.
Yeah.
Well, it's so deep to not be able to be a mom when you were a mom. That's how you self-identified.
Yeah.
Even to this very day, I still do things the way I did. Thinking about Rosino, like I ended up waiting a year as I was advised, but I sold everything. Like I unearthed my entire life after losing Z. The first year I retreated, and I remember bits and pieces of it, to tell you the truth. I
Yeah.
can't recite to you what
I can't either.
no,
I can't
but
either.
it was like the patterns of motherhood have stayed with me. Like the first reaction was to buy a family home. And then I found myself so sad and lonely in this family home. And
right.
I was like, Valarie, what are you doing? Seriously, why did you do this to yourself? Like 2-car garage and tools, my father's tools and all this stuff. And you should have gotten yourself like a cool apartment like in Manhattan. But in the back of my brain, I've been so programmed to react to just autopilot to react to being a mother. No, I have to provide this. I have to do it this way. I still have yet to shake that. I look forward to the day I can just get rid of all my furniture and not feel like I have to have my old home, and realize that my new home with Rosino is in my heart. And
Yeah.
I don't need baggage for it, but I still have all this baggage.
Yeah, I still have all of Wilson's baby clothes, and what he got baptized in, and all his little jerseys from kindergarten. Because I was going to give it to his children. He was going to have
Right.
5
Yeah.
children,
Yeah.
and they would be so proud to wear their daddy's soccer jersey or sweater that I knitted, or just I still have them, and
What do you do? I know that feeling.
I can't get rid of them. I
And
can't.
you don't have to right now.
You never have
There's
to.
no rush. Yeah.
Like-
you don't have to.
I go still 7 years deep. I have a closet in my office. I've managed to get all of his musical equipment and all of not his paintings. His paintings are all over the house, but his musical equipment has been basically in a closet for 7 years. And I'm like, Valarie, he would hate that all of these little keys and all this stuff is not being used. But every time I open that closet, that's the sore spot for me. I smell him.
Oh,
And I look at Sandra, like we tried to open that closet the other day, and I opened it and I caught myself in that moment of, oh my God, I'm going to have a breakdown. I need to just shut this closet.
Yeah.
So,
And that's okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is, I think that as somebody who 10 years later, I still have stuff of his
oh, really?
that I haven't gone through. For some reason, I'm not willing to face that pain of making the decision to toss it or
Yeah.
I know what. Like,
donate
it's so,
it. And that I can't figure it out, or I would have done it.
I know. I haven't figured it out. I haven't figured it out either. Just kind of a note to hope. I'm starting to feel
A note to hope. I like that.
Yeah, a note to hope. I am starting to feel unattached, except for to the paintings. I love my art.
Oh gosh,
yeah,
he was
okay,
amazing.
I think that's
No,
a
you
different
have to keep his
category than
art,
old
yeah.
T-shirts. I have old T-shirts.
No, but still, that's true. I have all his clothes. I put the clothes that I kept of his. I just put it in my closet if they were mine, and I'll wear them. Like he has this cool sweatshirt, big baggy sweatshirt that kind of had holes in it. I love that sweatshirt. I sleep in that sweatshirt sometimes, and today it makes me feel good. The cool thing about at least our belief systems, because everybody obviously believes in what they believe in, the cool thing, and maybe that's not the right word, is that those memories are as alive as they could ever be. And also the energy of our kids are equally alive, shifting into, again, that perspective thing where it's happy memories, and it's not that it ends there, in my opinion. It begins there into a new experience.
Yeah.
So,
And they've become their true selves.
Yeah.
And the true self before adolescence and before trauma
Right.
and before mental challenges, whatever, and addiction challenges, and
Oh, I just got goosebumps.
I think they're now their true selves again.
100%.
Yeah.
Like when I see, I'll not all the time, but boy, do I love it when I actually can see him in my meditations. He has the clearest, brightest, glowing, beautiful eyes.
Yes, same with
And his
Wilson.
energy with no words is just pure love. It makes me weak that when he's really there, like their true selves are so
Well,
beautiful.
I'd say healed self.
Yes.
I'd say healed self because I think we take everything that happens to us, good and bad, and it just is all used for good. If that makes sense. I
Right.
mean, it intermingles, it intertwines, and it gives them the wisdom to help others. Just, like the pain and the suffering and the joy and the happiness intermingle for us to allow us to share with other people.
And we're no experts. We're not claiming to be experts. But
Are you telling me that sounded like I was advice giving? And it might have, and I am sorry for that.
no. But I don't want, one thing I don't want anyone to feel, since we all three have become quite humbled in our loss.
Oh.
We know we're not experts. We're just
Yeah.
trying to put one foot in front of the other.
Right.
And I think one day we will include experts.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think that we have future plans. We will invite experts. We'll invite other moms, and we'll get input on where we should go.
I think that we're all just trying to find our way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some are gifted with the gift of clairvoyance. Some are gifted with the knowingness to be able to articulate an emotion like that. And some who have educated for whatever their own personal reasons are in mental health and, grief counseling or whatever it is that it equals. But in the end, we're all just looking for answers, the whats, the whys, and to try to find peace and love and hope within our lifetimes, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I'm fumbling through, and sometimes I have an aha moment, but it's really true. You don't ever really totally figure it out
Yeah.
And
until you
also,
get to the other side.
in the talking it through like this, I feel like I understand better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because hearing your take on it and your take on it, and when I try,
And your take on it for
when
me
when
helps.
I try to find my words and I struggle, and then I hear something else, it's like, okay, now that fits together again. That intermingling, that working together. No one person will have all the answers, but we can make a difference in our little piece of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really can.
Well, I sure hope so.
The power
That's
of
why
individual.
we're opening up our hearts. Our loss has to give something back beautiful.
Yes. And hope. You started with hope earlier, and hope is such a great word for me in my grief.
Yeah.
And they have since added a sixth stage to the 5 stages of grief, and it is making meaning.
Does not surprise me.
Yeah.
And
that
the
is-
stages of grief, I rejected them at first. I had a bad attitude. I
Yeah.
said, because I'm.
I think
They're
everyone did.
misunderstood.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
really
They are
misunderstood. It
misunderstood.
doesn't go in order, and
No,
you
it
repeat
doesn't.
them multiple times.
Yeah.
But
That's true.
And you do. You go back and forth and you flip and flop. But there is a lot of truth to that. I am willing to admit it now. I resisted. Well, my sister put me on the phone with a therapist, like when I was in New Orleans.
Oh wow! So
Because
hours.
I had announced at a big dinner that I wanted to kill myself. Of course, I said that out loud. I just was at the morgue claiming my son.
Right.
Like, I was like, I'm out of here. I don't want to do this anymore. And that was my initial reaction. I'm not living without him.
Most everyone that loses a child will have those thoughts.
Those thoughts, yeah. And so, but she put me on the phone with this therapist who walked me through the stages of grief and way too soon. And then also told me that I was going to have to find a new normal. So I hate that phrase. Offends me like beyond. I will forever have a terror. I just. Ugh.
But the thought is
It's
true.
too small, but it's also too
A
small.
new normal.
I
Can you
know.
imagine? Hey,
Well-
Anastasia, you need to find a new normal. Like what?
And I think it's time now.
Yeah. And the word,
It
it's
makes
the
me-
word normal.
Oh my God, it makes me crazy.
Yeah,
but
me too.
To be fair, in going down this road, you know, I'm 7 years deep, and I have made peace with the stages of grief, because you have to allow yourself to go through the different
And
phases.
you bargain. You're
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll do this. Just let him come back. Come on.
Yeah, like I want it back, and
Let's
you know.
time travel.
But acceptance it took me. I did not like that word for a long time.
Yeah.
Because acceptance in that made me feel surrendered almost, and in a way it is now that I look at it about it. I look back at it, but I didn't see it that way.
But it feels like you're saying, oh, that was okay.
yeah, like
And
I didn't
that's-
like that, but I now know it's not an everyday thing, but I do know what acceptance feels like. It brings peace.
It does bring peace.
It does, and it's acceptance of so many things, like acceptance of I'm a different person.
Right.
I
To this whole topic, yes.
yeah, like it is like
Mhm.
acceptance is like a big deal. It's not just, oh, I accept that my son is on the other side.
Right.
That's not the deal at all.
I accept
And-
my future will be 100% different than my past.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a challenge for me.
Yeah. Honestly, Anastasia, you are powering through, like, I don't even know if that's the right phrase. I admire
Stumbling.
you
Stumbling
for-
is a good phrase.
Stumbling, no, but the fact that you,
You are
are
facing.
searching so ferociously to land in a good life for you and accept all of it. I just look at you and I go, I don't even know how she's doing it, because it's taken 7 years for me to just really start feeling acceptance. And then it took me 3 to be able to start communicating.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
But I wasn't isolating. I was hanging out, hiking and talking to the birds and nature and
Yeah,
streams and creeks.
right.
And I was in action immediately, but your action is you're really putting yourself out there.
I don't even remember what I did. So
I've never yelled and cussed out God in my life. Never. I mean, plenty of challenges on different levels, and not until my son died did I feel anger at God, because God has always been my refuge and my soft place to fall. It scared me. I actually called Dad. I called my dad. He was still alive when I yelled at God. And I said, Dad, I just said the F-U word to God. He's like, don't worry about it. He can handle it.
he can.
I
He goes, he's
remember
probably
somebody
expecting it.
telling me that. Yeah.
But it scared me. And I only did that once, and talking to my dad really helped.
Well, yeah, because in that moment, I would bet you felt so disconnected from your faith.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had that experience too, where I was just like on an icy dirt road on this cool little apple farm that I bought because I knew it was going to make my dad happy. Long story, and I was like with 2 people in my living room who I just looked at, and I was like, I don't like either of you at all. Like literally, it just occurred to me. I was like, what am I? The why? Why am I here right now? And I bounced out. I just out the back door, up the pasture. And it was like 20 degrees. It was so cold. And I am like in a t-shirt and my little jeans and Uggs. And I am hit the ground pounding. I pounded that ground until I split my hands, screaming at God. Like, I don't know how to do this. And obviously the FUs and the why me. I flipped.
Yeah.
I've only flipped twice. That was one of the times I flipped. But going back to the stages of grief, it's important to flip if you have to flip.
Well, you have to get it out.
There's the Japanese pottery kintsugi, where you break the pottery, or the pottery is broken, and then you mend it with gold, and the beauty of the
Wow.
new creation is worth more.
Can we do that one day?
Let's do it.
Let's do that one
it.
day.
Yeah, we'll set up a spot and we'll break some stuff.
Yes.
Put it back together. I love
And
that.
so it's called kintsugi, and it's
It's beautiful.
world-renowned pottery that is more valuable
Okay, that's
because it's been
on our to-do
mended,
list.
broken and mended stronger, which
More
is us.
valuable.
We are more valuable, broken and
I love that.
I love that. And I love you. And I love this podcast.
There are
no words, but we have a few.
I love you guys.
Hey, thanks for listening. We really hope you felt seen and just a little bit less alone. Grief is something you don't have to carry by yourself. Whether you've lost a child or love someone who has, know that this space is here for you. We're learning as we go. We appreciate your patience with our process and welcome feedback. Be sure to take care of your heart. We hope this podcast will help with that. This is There Are No Words, but we have a few. Thank you for listening. Join us at There Are No Words, but we have a few.